I've had a similar experience where this friend was not a good influence on me at all. But for some strange reason, I felt that I could change them. So I have to keep being friends with them.
Just like my okay.
So that I can make them better. And even though all the things that they were doing was not good at all, I felt that every time I was around them, I would not be myself. I would do things that I know I shouldn't be doing. But I was still in that friendship. I'm no longer friends with the person, but I was still in it. I was still holding on very tightly to it because I felt, no, it's my mandate. I will change this person. This person will become better because of me. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Pick and Chat podcast. I'm Anabel.
I am Dennis.
Thank you all so much for tuning in into episode 1 and 2 so far. And before we start episode 3 today, if you haven't followed us yet on Instagram, please go on Instagram, follow us on there, go on Spotify and Apple Podcast and check out the first 2 episodes that we've posted so far. We've got a really cool topic today that we're going to discuss, so stay tuned. All right, so today we're going to be talking about friendships, but before we start, as we always do, Dennis is going to share some business insights with us. So get ready, all you entrepreneurs out there, business moguls in the making, get ready for some business insight. Dennis.
Yeah. Today, yes, we'll be talking about Airbnb arbitrage. First of all, arbitrage is just stepping in between any process to make yourself good money. I mean, if it's about business. So Airbnb arbitrage means, before then, let me just, for context, I know everybody knows what Airbnb is, but let me say it in case somebody doesn't know. Airbnb is a platform to book a room, just like a hotel. So if you have a home, you can list it on Airbnb as a host, and whoever books it is a guest.
Yeah.
And Airbnb takes money from the guest and pay the host. And of course, they also take out their fees. So that's all about Airbnb. So arbitrage is when you don't really have a home that you can list, but you rather will acquire somebody's home and list on Airbnb. So it would have been rent to rent if the law supports it. But in this case, you go to a landlord, then you tell them that you want to rent their home. Okay. And when you've rented it, you let them know. Or even before you rent it, you let them know what you're going to use it for. It's very bad to get a landlord's house to list on Airbnb without their consent. Some of them, their mortgages are not even support subletting, so you have to let them know. So when you've gotten that, it'll be like you've bought something at a lower price and you're selling it at a higher price. So in case you bought you're paying £500 a month for the room, then you would list it on Airbnb. And of course, before you do that, you need to do some staging. You need to make sure the room is nice to the spec you want. The standard you're going to put the room to would determine what price you will charge. So if you just want to go to the normal standard, like a city apartment, like for instance, a studio, you just need a very good setting, like a good bed, a couch or a sofa, then TV, basic stuff, microwave, kettle, and all. Yeah. You set it up, then you get a media team or a photographer to take very good pictures. If you're in Leicester or you are in Midlands, I would suggest you go to Nen Media. Yeah, Nen Media, they're very good with
I think they're on Instagram as well.
Yeah,
so you can check Nen Media UK, you can check them out if you need any media solution stuff.
Yeah. They bring the solution to make sure your Airbnb is paying. So when you've got them, you just go on Airbnb, create an account as a host, just list them, go through the process, tick all the boxes. Is it a studio? Yes. Is it a flat 2-bedroom? You take it. What amenities have you gotten? You show all the amenities you've got in your room. Then again, you also do your settings as to whether people can book right away, or if they should prompt you before they book. That is if you are not sure whether the room is always going to be ready. So in that case, you always get messages like this person is trying to book. Then you either accept it or decline. When you've done that, and of course, you would have set your price. So for instance, if you got that property for £500 and a night is, let's say, £60, that means you have 30 days to take 60 times what? 30. And that should be around 1,800.
Yeah.
But truly speaking, it might be that you cannot book all nights. So even if you go half of it, that is around £900. So give or take, even on a very bad month, you're walking away with more than what you've paid for the rent. And that is how you cut off in Airbnb arbitrage. We can talk about it later on a very good note when we have a business session. But read about it, think about it. A lot of YouTube videos about it. Watch it, and maybe in the future I can share how my Airbnbs are doing and how the figures really work. But they are profitable.
Sure. Good. Thank you for that business insight, Dennis. So yeah, Airbnb arbitrage, check it out if you're looking for a side hustle or a business to start off with in your entrepreneurial journey. Check out Airbnb arbitrage. We've shared business insights in some of the previous episodes, so go and check them out. Let us know what you think. All right, so today we're talking about friendships. It's a good topic for us to talk about, but should we start off with a bit of a story? A bit of our personal experience with friendships.
Yeah.
Dennis, would you like to start?
Well, how do I start? I was hoping you would start. Anyway, I've had very good experience with friends. I always say that many of the things that I have, or many of the things that I've achieved, it is true friendship. I have very good friends. I was just lucky. I wouldn't say I was one person that was able to figure out which one is good. Maybe I was a bad one because, and yes, mind you, if you have only good friends, it could be you are the bad friend because because there's always a bad friend.
Yeah.
So if all your friends are ones that are always impacting you positively, then it might mean, it doesn't always mean, it might mean that you are the bad one. Okay. I hope I'm also a good friend, but I've really had good friends who have had very positive impact on my life. And if you ask me, my impression with friendship is superb. I've really benefited from friendship, and I think it really affects me in many aspects of lives. Wherever I go, I really pay attention to the people that come in my life because it's been good for me.
Yeah. I would agree as well. I've had really good experience with friends as well. For me, and I feel it's because I'm quite an emotional person, so I hold on to friendships quite tightly. So when I have a friend and things are not going maybe the way I want it to go, let me give you an example. I have a friend. She's still my friend now, but ever since I got married, I don't know what it is. The relationship has, I think we've become a bit distant.
Okay.
And every now and then I'll be there and I'll just think about it. What is it that has made us become so distant? I get it that we're both in different seasons of our lives.
Yeah.
For example, I'm no longer single, I'm married. So naturally, I've gotten different responsibilities. So the way we used to hang out, we're not being able to do those things as much anymore. So I understand that naturally that has happened. But because of how close we were, I feel like something else may be going on that has created that distance, that separation, and I can't seem to pinpoint why. And I also don't want to be that friend that is so overly sensitive where I pick up on everything. So I've been a bit unsure of whether I should ask her about it, whether she notices that we've become a bit distant and why that is. Because we talk, we talk, we check up on each other, but I know how the friendship was before, and I'm sensing that the distance, and I'm just a bit unsure of how to talk about it. But that, putting that aside, I feel like I'm quite an emotional person when it comes to friendship, so I hold on to people really tightly. And when my friends have other friends, that's fine. But I'm always like, this is my friend. I love friendships, and sometimes maybe it has something to do with gender, because I don't really know how men how they see friendship, whether they hold on to friendships that tightly or not. But one thing that I've noticed about myself is I hold on to friendships very tightly, and they mean a lot to me. So when friendships, or when my friend, we're having issues, it really affects me. And I talk about it a lot with people that are close to me, like, oh, I don't know, have you noticed that this person is behaving differently towards me? And
mm.
it actually affects me a lot. But I think in general, friendships are a good thing to have. When you have good friends around you, like you said, it affects you positively. It helps you to move forward. I mean, we can even use our friendship as an example.
Yeah.
There's been so many instances where when I've realized that, wow, Dennis has had this positive impact on me. And not even just you, but us being friends has had an impact in a way where we've been able to develop other friends because of our friendship.
Yes.
And I see those positive impacts that those other friends that we've been able to make because of our friendship has had on me personally. Yeah, I think friendships are a good thing.
Yeah. And how did we become friends?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting to talk about. Okay. I mean, from how I remember, maybe you
it was so fluid,
differently. Yeah. I remember it from church. Do you remember we met at church?
Yeah.
Your cousin.
Yeah, Anita
had you came to church with her.
Yeah.
And then she introduced us. Oh, this is my cousin Dennis. I was, oh, hi Dennis. And I think that was it.
Yeah.
Following that, I'm not sure if you came to church. You went back to Ghana, if I remember.
Yes, I'm back to Ghana.
The next time I saw you, you had come back to study. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I think I also learned about your blog. I read it sometime. I'm like, oh, who is this person? I mean, she really, I mean, that's all the stuff she does. And that was it. So it was there. It was so fluid. And of course, we're also in church. So we always had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Then you also referred me for a job.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
That was, that is one of the jobs that I always am thankful for. It really opened my eye in the UK. I remember, I made good money. Like I always used to tell you. I remember a time I had a watch. He said, oh, this watch is. I was like, oh yeah, thanks to you. The job you gave me. I was so indirect. I was like, the job you gave me, I got money for the job and I bought a good watch. You know, I know that was a bit, I mean, unnecessary, but yes, that was it. Yeah. I wouldn't have bought that watch if I didn't get that job, and I wouldn't have got that job if it wasn't you who recommended me. And when I was working there, all the things I thought about, most importantly, was not to disgrace you. Yeah, so I was very much of a good person to, the employers, not because I was so much interested, but for the start, I was like, this person recommended me and I have to behave. And I did my job diligently. And that is how impactful it's been. I've learned a lot from that job, and it's, come along with me all my life. I also share a story about friendship. And I'll put that question to you: how you compare friendship to family? I have a solid family. I'm not gonna lie. My family is just like broad on the base. My family is tight. I've compared my family to a lot of families, and my family, I'm gonna say, it's the best that I could have had. Wow. I have some friends. I mean, if you're a member of my family, don't think I'm really downgrading anything. I have some friends who have done things for me.
Wow.
That family, didn't think, of doing for me. At the point when we were growing up, there was this swagger thing coming up, big jeans, big buckle watches, customized belt and everything, that kind of thing. Yeah, we wore drag, we wore big dresses. So I was into it. And for context, I attended Premier College. It's a boys' school, that's cool. Everything is what's up. Yes, we don't joke, we don't play Air Forces. Back then, when I say back then,
you were wearing Air Forces back then.
Back then, I was wearing Chuck Taylors, Converse Chuck Taylors, and all. And it's not something a regular guy could afford. But I had this friend called Demo, the recruited paper. That guy was the son of a well-to-do man. They were quite well-to-do than my family. This guy would go out. He was in Preset Legon. He would buy stuff. And when we come home, all the stuff he bought mine.
Wow.
He's a friend.
Oh,
no offense to my brother. My brother and I share a lot of things, but I'm just appreciating because it is just a friend.
Yeah.
This guy is in Accra, in Kumasi. He goes shopping for the vacation classes and all, and he buys stuff in twos. He buys watches and buy mine.
Wow.
And when we come home and he's making budgets, he makes me part of his budget. Those days, I'm not going to lie, it was very difficult to, have meals in the restaurant. On a good day, when he has a lot of cash, some cash on him, he picks up dropping, or he gets his daddy's car, pick me up, we go to a restaurant, and people thought I was I was a DB. I wasn't a DB. So I think somebody came to.
That's interesting.
Some lady came to my mother's shop in the market and met me there, and she was quite disappointed because the kind of lifestyle she saw me living.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't befit somebody whose mom sells in the market.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is just an example, and that's just one guy that I really mentioned. I'll mention another friend as we go, and I think I'm just hoping the conversation gets to where I can, bring in these examples. But I have clear, like I mentioned earlier on, I have benefited from friendship, and these guys did not tell me how to smoke or how to do, things that are ungodly. They really sponsored me, and that is it. How has it been for you? What friends? What friend have you had that has been superb than some of your family members?
Yeah, as you were sharing that, one friend came to mind, and it's so nice, isn't it? Some of the benefits we get from really good friendships. And there's one friend that I met at uni. We're still friends now.
Feel free to mention her name.
She's a sister.
Yeah.
Hi, Goldie.
Oh, Goldust. No, that's my friend. No. You cannot take my friend. Goldust.
Okay, Goldust is your friend.
My friend.
She's my sister.
Okay, well,
Goldust
right.
is my sister, actually. And I always say to myself, it's a friendship that I cherish a lot. And I always say to myself that it's a God ordained friendship, because the amount of things I've learned from Goldie, genuinely, I can boldly say that had I not met Goldust as a friend, I don't know if I would have learned some of those things. I've learned how to be a very warm person towards people, just being genuine with people. I've learned how to relax and have fun. Just have fun because of having fun's sake, not because of anything. And from Goldust, I've also learned to just enjoy life.
Yeah.
I remember when we met at uni, I just couldn't believe that a person can be this bubbly all the time. She's so free spirited, and she will just enjoy life any moment she gets. But I don't know. I think maybe this is a side that people don't really know of Goldust that much. She is a very powerful and God-fearing woman.
I was going to say that.
And for me, I know that that has been the foundation of our friendship. I'll briefly tell you how we actually met at uni. We used to go to PNC together. A student Christian society on campus at the time. And
let me tell you, I know.
Really?
I want to prove to you I know Goldust more than you do. So you guys were paired up to pray, isn't it?
We were paired up to pray.
And that's how you continue praying. And as now you still pray together, isn't it?
We were paired up to pray.
She told me.
And
that's my good friend. She told me.
No, but literally, we were paired up to pray just for a week. The fasting and prayers was just for 1 week. We finished praying, and we just kept praying together every day. And to the point where when I'm going through something, or when she's going through something, we will call each other. But the first thing we'll do is, okay, let's pray about it. Let's pray together about it now. And then we will talk about it. And I don't know, but you know the story of Jonathan and David in the Bible?
Yeah.
I feel a sense of covenant to Goldust.
Yeah.
Like the friendship that we have, in the sense that she's not someone that I can just say things to just to flatter. She's someone I can be openly honest to. You can be honest with someone, but you can still shield yourself. You can still hold things back. She's someone I can be very honest with, knowing that the advice I'll get will come from a holy place, will come from a place where my best interest is being thought of. And for me, one other benefit I've really gotten from that friendship with Goldust is her family has now become my family.
Yeah.
And
I have that.
Goldie's mom is my mom. Her dad is my dad. And the things that her parents have done for me, personally, I know that some of those things that they've done for me, my parents may not be able to do them for me, not because they don't have the means, but the type of emotional warmth that Goldie's mom has given to me.
Yeah. It's profound.
Every time I remember it does something to me. Like, I feel like it regenerates the love that I have for that family. And sometimes I feel that people don't put that much effort in friendships.
Yeah.
You need to put effort in friendships.
You
and
need to.
At the time, we didn't realize it, but I know that those hours we spent praying, those hours we spent advising each other, those hours we spent doing fun things together were all efforts we were putting in the friendship. So if I ever hear someone saying that Godas has done something to them, it won't faze me in the sense that I know my sister, I know her.
Yeah.
Do you get it? She's someone I know. If she does something, whether good or bad, I know how I can speak with her. I know how I can advise. I know that if Godas is going to make a decision, that will not benefit her. I'm someone that I can speak with her and she will listen. And those type of friendships, they work both ways. So I'm not only benefiting from it, Godas is not only benefiting from it. We're both benefiting from it in so many different ways. And I could go on and talk about that friendship ages back. It's one friendship that I think it goes beyond the things that my family can do
for you. Yeah. So talking about that David and Jonathan friendship, I have one. His name is Elom. You know, that friendship that you upgrade to your brother. So I mean, literally, I don't see him as my friend. He's my brother. And it has been just like yours. Well, we didn't pray. We just met on on campus.
Wait, are you trying to say you don't pray with Elom?
Never have I ever prayed with him. Never. Oh my God. No. We never prayed together. All the time it's just about doing something, correcting each other, or talking about stuff that we all fancy. That is it. And this guy is a guy. He's a great guy. When we met on uni campus, he said he saw me taking some action in the lane. I did some stuff like, yeah, this guy should be my friend. I also like, oh yeah, I like this person. We also met through a person that I knew from high school, from primary college, who is also my friend. So we just became free friends. But I was more polarized to Elom, than my friend who really introduced us. So it was actually my friend's roommate. And that was it. Since we became friends, all the time I've been to Accra where he was based, I lived in the house.
Yeah. Wow.
It got to a point when even my family is traveling outside the country, they get to Accra, they go to their house.
Yeah.
They go to their home. And it's just like that. So we are literally brothers. There is nothing that I do that I'll tell Elom about it and he doesn't take interest in it. And there is nothing that he does that he will let me know that I am not interested in. We hold each other's hands. And this guy has helped me immensely. I think off camera I was talking about color party.
Yeah.
And of my businesses. Elom has always made sure that I have time to do other things. And it is so insane that somebody can actually commit their time to relieve you of the things you are supposed to do because they believe you can do better with your time. And this doesn't come easy. The kind of person I am, I would even come to you to correct you as if I don't know what you're doing. In as much as I know he's a great guy, he's the one holding me down, I go to him and I fire him all the time, trying to talk about the little things I did not do right, which sometimes I feel bad about, but this guy never pays off.
No.
He never gets angry. When I say never, I mean never. You can try him. He never talks back like talking like I am talking. He's the one ensuring that our relationship is growing. And most of the time, when people see me and him, I think they might be tempted to think that I am the positive one. No, I'm not. He is the positive one. He is the one that is ensuring that he's the opposite of me. And this is one friend that I don't joke with. I told my wife that if you don't like Elom, there is no problem. I tell people, if you don't like Elom, there is no problem. But I will have a problem with why you don't like him. So everybody around me, my wife, my brothers, my uncle, my grandmother, my mother, they all like him. And I always make it a point to let them know who he is to me.
Yeah.
And that is one friend that I can compare to you and
Wow.
God, as if everything is comparable. He's just family to me.
Maybe Godas and Elom should meet.
Oh, they are single.
No, that's what I'm saying. They should meet. I mean, like, they should meet.
Yeah. So I mean, this podcast is going to connect two people. Hopefully, they get married. Amen.
Okay. So you know how we've just shared
yeah
really heartwarming experiences we've had of friendships positively. Have you ever had a very negative experience with friends or a very negative experience of friendship?
Yeah. So it was negative. I was positive. I had a friend. I'm not going to mention him. Who was I mean, I wouldn't even say an addict or anything, but I mean, you know, when guys are growing and they casually use Indian hemp. It's a friend that I liked. He was older than me, held me down, and my family was against it. It was very negative because there was a chance, there could have been a chance I could have got into those vices, which I would not get out of.
Yeah.
But this is a friend that I like so much, and I didn't like him because of his vices. This is a friend who I would sit with, would do all the things in code that are bad, and would tell everybody that no. That's how they used to call me pages. Pages, no, don't worry with this. So if they're smoking and they're passing around, they'll pass it over me. He always ensured that I wasn't into that. It was a negative one from the public outlook, but I knew that person still meant good for me. And it was one that wasn't really good because my family found out I was friends with this person who was older than me. And yeah, of course, as protective as family would be, they thought that I would end up or do the stuff, he was doing. But he ensured, and that is something I could never explain to, whoever, thought he would be of bad influence to me, that in as much as I was close to him, he knew what he was doing was bad, and he ensured that I did not get into it. So it was bad, but to be fair, it wasn't really, impactful adversely on my life.
Yeah. Okay. How about friendships or friends where you know that this person is not a good influence on me, or this friendship is not good for me, but you're still in it, you're still holding on to it? Have you ever had an experience like that before?
A friend that I think it's not good for me, but I still want to.
For example, you have a friend, you know this person, he or she is not a good person. They are not a good influence on you, but you're still friends with that person. You're still in that friendship.
Yeah.
Do you know why you're still friends with that person? What is it that's making you stay in that friendship?
Yeah. So I also had a friend who was not a good influence because all the things that he did, all the thoughts that he brought on board was bad. But the whole thing is what got me stuck to that friendship was the fact that I had a conviction of rather being a good friend to the person.
Okay.
Yeah, but at some point I couldn't, so I just had to be a bit distant from this friend. But I really knew that this friend, if I'm not able to change him, he will change me, and I walked away. Yeah,
that's good.
What about you?
I have.
This one you cannot mention names, please.
I've had a similar experience where this friend was not a good influence on me at all, but for some strange reason, I felt that I could change them, so I have to keep being friends with them,
just like my
so that I can make them better. And even though all the things that they were doing was not good at all, I felt that every time I was around them, I would not be myself. I would do things that I know I shouldn't be doing. But I was still in that friendship. I'm no longer friends with the person, but I was still in it. I was still holding on very tightly to it because I felt, no, it's my mandate. I will change this person. This person will become better because of me. And sometimes I reflect on it and I wonder why no one was forcing me to be friends with them. Even they were not forcing me to be friends with them. They didn't even care about the friendship. But I took it upon myself to want to make this friendship grow. I want this friendship to be good. I want this person, whom I think is my friend, to become a better person. And they didn't even care. And by the time I got out of the friendship, I just kept thinking, why? I've never really
I got a question for you.
But I always wondered why I held on for about 3 years. I was friends with that person, and I kept giving. I wasn't receiving anything from it, which is fine. You don't necessarily always have to receive something from friendships, but still, like, I wasn't receiving any love, I wasn't receiving any care, nothing from it. But I still felt like I needed to give all of those things, and hopefully one day the person will realize that this is a friendship I need to carry. And they never did. And eventually I got out of it.
So I mean, I think we are posing too much of angels. Have you ever been a bad friend?
Probably.
Have you been with a friend that you were the bad one, you were the bad influence? Has it ever happened to you?
Not that I know of, not a bad influence, but I have probably been a bad friend. I say that because I had an experience with a friend, and so let me explain. I had this friend, and it was a guy. The reason I'm saying I was probably a bad friend because I'm a lady, and I know the influence I can have on guys. I feel like I led him on, and he maybe had it in mind that we would become more than friends, and I knew that. I knew that's what he had in mind, and I didn't do anything about it. It kept going on, and it got to a point where I knew what he wanted, and I knew I couldn't give him that. I only wanted friendship. He had hopes that it would develop. I didn't want it to develop, and the friendship literally ceased. From there, and I felt so bad because I knew that friendship could have carried on in a positive way if I had just been honest from the beginning and just been like, oh, especially when I noticed that this is a friend that wants things to develop. I could have explained that actually, no, I don't think so. And I know that I played on his...
I feel bad for this guy.
I don't know how to say, but I played on his... I don't know whether to say innocence, or I played on his goodness. And I feel so bad when I think about it sometimes because I lost a really good friend. But at the same time, I hurt this person emotionally, and it's not nice. Sometimes I say to myself, oh, I was younger, then it's fine. But I wasn't that young.
You could have done better.
I knew what I was doing, and I know it was quite selfish of me. And sometimes in friendships, we can be really selfish. I've noticed that about me sometimes, and there's been situations where I've had to stop myself in saying certain things or doing certain things because I've realized that actually that will come across as very selfish. That's not what friends should do, and I've stopped myself. So yeah, I think I've been a bad friend in the past.